After the tragic shooting of our National Guardsmen in Washington, D.C., Donald Trump, of course, has suspended all asylum processing from third world nations. But, of course, the leftist media doesn't like this very much. So what we're going to see today, of course, is Kristi Noem actually owning Kristen Welker over here on NBC on this very same topic. But before we begin, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe on this video so we can break through the algorithms. Here we go.
I don't think people realized when Joe Biden was in the White House exactly how he was allowing our country to be infiltrated with people that we didn't know who they were. Some of them we did know were dangerous, and we went after as soon as they came into this country. But under this program, we could have up to 100,000 people that came in from Afghanistan that may be here to do us harm. And President Trump is absolutely dedicated to getting them out of our country.
Okay, we have a lot more to get to. I want to talk about how the administration is responding. President Trump on Thursday promised to, quote, permanently pause migration from all third world countries. Is the administration ending all legal immigration into the United States?
The president is absolutely determined to stop all processes at this point in time from third world countries until we can have a thorough opportunity to go through these individuals, know that they're here for the right intentions, and that they even should be in our country to begin with. He's putting Americans first, their safety first. And these third world countries don't have stable governments. They can't sustain them. They can't tell us who they are. And that's really the consequence of what we're seeing unfold with the violence on our streets, is because these countries that people have been traveling to our shores from for so many years under the Biden administration, their governments didn't tell us who they were. We don't have a proper vetting process. So that's one of the things I'm so grateful for, is that President Trump has been bold enough to say, you know what, we're going to stop. We're not going to allow this to continue until we have a process in place that ensures that it actually has integrity for people that will protect us and keep us safe.
Well, the Director of Citizenship and Immigration Services posted Friday that the agency, quote, has halted all asylum decisions until we can ensure that every alien is vetted and screened to the maximum degree possible. For people fleeing violence and persecution who were hoping for protection here in the United States, one of the hallmarks of this country, is the United States now closed to them officially?
They will be properly vetted. They will have new standards put in place, applied to them to ensure that they're here for that purpose.
When will the asylum process
Nobody's
start
coming
again?
here until we're sure that they're going to be someone who truly deserves that program, deserves that opportunity. And under the last administration, that just wasn't happening. We had all kinds of people come in and use those programs for nefarious purposes, and it's going to stop.
Okay, when will the asylum process start again?
Well, it'll start when we know that we have dealt with the backlog that we have, Kristen. One of the things that nobody's talked about yet is that Joe Biden left us with a backlog of 1.5 million asylum cases. They allowed so many people to abuse that program that they didn't even process the paperwork. So people who maybe, as you would say, could have credibly claimed this, they weren't even getting processed for years and years because they were allowing it to be abused in such a way. So that backlog needs to be cleared up. The individuals who are here in this country on that program need to be vetted under our standards that we're implementing under President Trump to ensure that they even should be in our country. And if they're not, removed immediately.
Will you deport people with pending asylum claims, Madam Secretary?
We will if they should be. Absolutely. Yes, we are going to go through every single person that has a pending asylum claim, has an asylum claim here in this country. You know, one of the requirements of asylum is that you have to come in every single year for a checkup and an interview process and a re-vetting. And that is something that we're going to expedite and happen immediately with anyone who does have that asylum claim today, and ensure that they deserve to still be in this country, that they still have the purposes for which they claimed that asylum in place, and that they're not here being radicalized and perpetuating dangerous criminal activity against our Americans.
All right. President Trump wrote on Thursday, quote, only reverse migration can fully cure this situation. On Friday, DHS posted, quote, remigration now. As you probably know, this term has been used in different situations, but including by the far right in Europe to call for the mass deportation of non-white immigrants. How specifically does the Trump administration define remigration?
Well, President Trump has been working towards cleaning up the mess that Joe Biden left us ever since he came into the White House.
But how do you define that word, Secretary Noem? How do you define that word?
Well, first of all, we have criminal illegal aliens we've been targeting since day one. We have removed millions of people from this country already just in the few short months that President Trump has been president by making sure we're going after criminal illegal aliens that are murderers and criminals and getting them out of our country, bringing them to justice, and then encouraging people to go home. If you're here illegally and breaking our laws, you can leave now, and you may get the opportunity to come back someday. But if you wait until we detain you, and we will deport you, and you'll never get the chance to come back to America and visit us or become a citizen. We're going to continue to do that, go after those criminals, go after those individuals that came in under programs that were broken on the Biden administration and people who were in place and leadership in that crazy, crazy 4 worlds we lived through, 4 years we lived through before President Trump came in. Thank God we have a president now that recognizes that letting all of these people into our country that we don't know who they are is dangerous, that we let in terrorists, we let in criminals, we let in mentally unstable people. They shouldn't be here. They're going to leave, and President Trump is going to ensure that Americans become first and the priority, and that they're going to be safe on their streets again.
So notice that all that Kristen Welker really cares about is, when is the immigration program going to start up again? When are the asylum claims going to be processed? When are we going to let in millions upon millions of people into this country? Because obviously that's what we're all about, the immigration. Okay. And by the way, I'm not against immigration. I just think it should be legal, and I think it should be highly limited, so we give people a chance to assimilate into our culture, into this country. And of course, we have to have proper vetting so we know exactly who's coming in and how safe they are. And that's the main point that Kristi Noem is making. We are not vetting all of these people that Joe Biden brought in because there was no way to. The governments in these third world nations are corrupt or collapsing or virtually non-existent. So there are no records. There is no way to make sure these people are actually safe. So we're putting a pause on all of that and trying to work our way through the backlogs of over 1 million asylum claimants. Okay, we have to go through all of them to make sure they actually qualify, and of course, they're actually safe to be here. Now, of course, I do realize that none of this would have stopped the shooter in Washington, D.C., right, who attacked the National Guardsman, because this guy actually worked with our military, worked with our CIA. He was known to us, and that's one of the reasons why he was allowed into this country. Okay, so could we have stopped him? Probably not. However, Kristi Noem brings up a novel idea. We have these annual reviews that are supposed to be happening. Okay, but when you have millions of people on backlog, do you think it is? Do you think we possibly could have caught the radicalization of this guy after he came into this country and was possibly planning what he was doing if someone had been monitoring him or watching him? All right, so this is something that could definitely help the country. But Kristen Welker, what's she going to bring up? Oh, re-immigration now, right? This phrase, this horrible phrase, is used by the far right in Europe, where they don't want anyone with darker skin tones allowed in, okay? But here's the thing, all right? Outside of Europe and America and Canada and Australia, where are all the white people at? Oh, they're non-existent, all right? You have only people in the certain part of the world that have this particular skin tone, and then the rest of the world doesn't. So I guess by extension, somehow, this means all non-white people. Or does it really just mean, hey, we're sick and tired of the rampant illegal immigration, the fake asylum claims, the fake refugee claims. We're tired of all of that, and we don't want the third world being imported into our countries, especially at the numbers we've been getting, all right? Is that possibly what it means? But Kristen Welker, she has to keep pushing Kristi Noem, right? What does this mean to you? How do you define that phrase? And Kristi Noem's response, of course, is simply, yeah, we're going after the criminals. We're going after the people that broke our law. We don't really care what color their skin is, all right? I don't want a Canadian in here who came in illegally, because if you're willing to break one law, you're willing to break other laws, okay? And having vetting and following our current immigration law shouldn't be a problem to anyone, especially Kristen Welker, no matter what type of racist dog whistle she's trying to say that people are using. Okay, so that all fell right on its face, even though you could tell that was her big gotcha moment with Kristi Noem. But Kristi Noem, of course, remained level-headed during the entire interview and spoke facts and truth in terms of what Donald Trump is actually trying to accomplish. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and say hi to your mom for me. Do you like t-shirts? Of course you do. And now you can support the channel by buying an Angry Teacher t-shirt designed by me, Angry Teacher. So if you like America, if you like freedom, if you like liberty, then go ahead and click the link in the description, where all designs, of course, are 100% mother approved. So enjoy yourself and find something you like today.